Okay, if everything has got according to plan, we should be live on YouTube. Let me just quickly, there we go. Yes, we are. Hello everyone and welcome to another live stream. This weekend with Avrona, to be specific. This one will be a bit different. Like I said, I like to mix things up on the show. I just don't want it to be news all the time, especially because, you know, tech news has been kind of bad and boring, and it's going to lead up to Computex because everyone's just holding their cards really close to their chest, and the only thing to talk about is how Nvidia are just messing with reviewers for the release of the RTX 5060 8 gigs. So I don't want to, you know, just have another video, another live stream be about dunking on Nvidia. So instead, we'll be doing something a bit different. And a couple of days ago, I received a pretty special package from Wooting, the guys who make all those keyboards and like stuff for custom keyboards. So let me quickly show you what they sent over. So we have the basic Wooting 80HE Plus for me to unbox. I'm going to do that at a later date, most likely when I come back from Computex, because, well, that's next week. I'll be flying out on Friday. So yeah, this will probably have to wait for another day, and it's going to be pretty awesome because I've never actually unboxed any of the keyboards. But they also sent over this and this as well. A bunch of stuff for their Wooting 80HE platform for creating your own custom keyboard, basically. And I've never actually done it. It's one of those things that you need a lot of time and patience for, and also a lot of money for, you know, all that custom keyboard craze going on. So it's a hobby that I've, you know, it's a part of the whole PC gaming hobby that I haven't really encroached on, especially because people who are really into it will probably just tell me that I'm doing everything wrong. But that is about to change. So they've sent all of this over, and it's time for me to, for the very first time ever, to assemble a keyboard from scratch. So it's going to be pretty interesting. So first things first, I think we need to go over what exactly they sent over, because as you probably saw, there's quite a bit. So we should probably start at the bottom of this stack, actually, where we have the main Wooting 80HE module right here. Then we have the case, and then we have two sets of keycaps, which I actually have no idea how they differ. So these are Wooting keycaps, okay, so these are black and these are white, so we can customize right here. Okay, so let's just unbox everything one by one. I have no idea how to do this. They, my contact at Wooting sent me over a like a reviewer's guide to help me along, so that would probably be my main guide for all of this. So let's start off with, I'm assuming, we start off with the module, the case. What do we start off with? Let's go with case. Let's go with the case and see exactly what hides inside. And by the way, because I haven't really used this particular recording setup for a live stream before, I usually kind of record in this unboxing style for regular videos. Let me know if the audio is good first and foremost. Like if the levels are okay, because I have no feedback to see if the level's fine. Okay, let's start off with the case. So first off, we do get ourselves, if this box would please go further. Oh, off to a great start. I already ripped the box. What I want to do is just get this, get the top part to just go backwards a bit further, so you can get a clearer look of what's inside. Not like there's much, so oh well. This is the case itself. It is like a translucent white, and it does provide pretty detailed steps right here in the middle, so you literally can't mess this up. But knowing me, I'll still probably find a way to mess it up, because that's just the way we do it on this channel. In general, it's been a few weeks where I've been exploring really new areas where I just haven't had time, I haven't had a budget to play around with these areas of tech and build stuff in these areas. So one of them is, you know, custom keyboards, and the other is, I don't think I'm fully allowed to talk about it just yet. I'm still waiting for the video to be approved by the company who I'm kind of collaborating with on it. But it's a pretty awesome video, and again, I'll be unboxing and setting up something I've never played with in my life, but something I've actually desperately needed for my setup. So I'm really glad that they sent that thing over. And again, you'll see in probably like next week before I leave for Computex what exactly a thing is. But again, just a hint, it's something you've literally never seen me talk about or mention or you know, configure in any way on this channel before, but it's something that I really needed. If you can somehow figure it out before the video goes live, then you get nothing but the satisfaction that you got it right, which is in itself a prize. Anyway, so this is a module right here. They went over they sent me over the white one. I would have preferred the black one, but I think it's about time I added some color to my life and my setup in general. If you couldn't tell from watching my videos, I kind of prefer everything to be in black. Well, okay, that's the funny thing. That's the kind of funny thing about me. Just the fact I'm wearing this blue jacket, whatever you want to call it here, just this blue shirt right now, is in itself just a miracle. You know, I dress in all black all the time, but when it comes to my tech accessories, when it comes to stuff like my phone, my Galaxy Watch, my buds, they're all like coloured. None of them are black. I refuse to get like a black phone because I just find it boring. So maybe it's about time I get into custom keyboard modding if Wooting send me more stuff in the future to really get creative with colours and add some colour to my life finally. Okay, what on earth do I do? Well, not throw away these instructions for one. So we need to unscrew the 7 screws indicated with a little symbol. Flip it back on its feet, admire it, don't be impatient. Locate the 5 clasps indicated with the red square and gently release the clasps, and that will allow us to put this in here. Oh, look at that, they have like different little icons in every single mount, I guess you can call it, every single slot for every single switch. I wonder how much that adds to the overall production costs. I mean, these things aren't cheap. You aren't getting into this hobby because you want a good budget keyboard. Where you get into it because you just want to have a completely custom keyboard that's unique to you and you alone. Speaking of unique, I don't think I've showed it off enough on this channel, but this custom LTD screwdriver I made of LTX, it's pretty awesome. I did a whole video while I was there when I was putting this thing together. Man, is it awesome. Man, do I like just having a one-of-a-kind screwdriver. I wasn't kind of too sure about these color choices when I first made it. I wanted to obviously go with purple and blue because those are the channel colors. I don't think... I didn't like it when I first made it. I felt like I could have probably done like all purple or maybe, I don't know, changed some things around, but I've kind of really grown to like it. Like I said, man, I don't know what it is. So much of what I wear is black, my PC is black, but when it comes to all of these little touches, my coloured screwdriver, my coloured phone, my coloured watch, my coloured earbuds, and you know, maybe I'll have like a really creative, funny, and oh come on, how do I get to that? Did they maybe include by any chance a screwdriver to get into those tiny openings right there? That would really help me a lot. We should probably have a look into what we have when it comes to accessories here a bit earlier. We have the feet themselves. We have, I believe it's probably like a dual-way switch and a key puller. We have some screws, but I don't think we have a screwdriver to actually get into these tiny little holes here, which is, yeah, it's not reaching. Now that is, I don't know what we should be doing here now with that information. There's nothing else I miss in these boxes. I'm trying to think, do I have anything better that would probably... Ooh, maybe something from my iFixit kit. Sorry if I kind of merge towards the camera there, but I need to see... Where's my screwdriver gone? The one thing I need, and it's gone. Give me a second, I'll quickly get that. Okay, let's see if iFixit will be able to do it. These are a bit finer, the bits themselves are a bit finer and longer, and yep, there we go. LTT, eat your heart out. Your screwdriver can't do what iFixit can. Okay, well, to be fair, this is probably where the precision screwdriver kit would come in from them. I do actually have it. I got it at CES. Nick gave it to me then. It's somewhere in one of those closets. But whatever, can't be bothered to do it. And besides, they ain't paying me, so I'm not advertising the stuff in LTT store for free. Have I missed one? I have one here in the corner. I think the other corner as well. There it is, and come on, come out. There we go. And now we can lift that whole thing out. Hopefully my rep at Wooting isn't watching this and reconsidering all his choices by sending me this. Okay, it's stuck on this final one in the middle here. I am being so careful not to break anything here. That would be extremely embarrassing, but oh, okay, it's gone, boom. It also says to remove before assembly on this sticker right here, so we'll follow instructions and do just that. I should probably lift this a bit further up like this so you can see better, or maybe just something that makes you a bit sick, adjust the camera. There we go. Just so you can see a bit more of what's happening at the very kind of bottom of the desk here. Okay, cool. So, from what I can gather, I need to put this in here. It goes in one way, I would suppose, but where on earth it is? Oh, you get all the instructions here as well. Not just instructions, but like a breakdown of what everything is and what it does. That is actually so cool. If you're just a massive nerd like me, and you just like inspecting electronics, it's actually pretty cool. It just tells you what everything does. Here's the MCU, here's the transceiver, here's all the connections. That is actually pretty nice. I could look at this forever, but we'll just continue with everything else. So this connects something like this, so what's the best way of doing this? Because this cable is not long. And now the rubber underneath, it's not rubber, like just the fabric underneath fell out. How do I... There has to be a more elegant way of doing this, but I'm just gonna basically brute force my way into it. I don't even know if it's going in the right way. Which way is it keyed? It is keyed this way? Yeah, it's keyed this way. It's keyed this way, so it goes like this and like this and like, come on, go in. There has to be a more elegant way, but unless I just do it like this, but then you have no idea what I'm doing under there. And I kind of don't want that. Like I want you guys to actually see the whole process. But I can't believe this is a set I'm stuck on actually. Inserting a cable into a connector. Okay, it's in. It's in. And the whole thing is going in. It's going in. Why is it not going in? The cable itself is being stubborn. That's why. How do I give it a bit more, you know, the cable is just so stiff. How do I make it not be as annoying and in the way? I think what I need to do is, there's a bit of a, there was like a holder for the cable, and now, there we go, boom. Do we attach this now or after we add all the keys? I think I'm gonna leave this open, and I think it's gonna be a lot easier to get everything in that way. So now we can go with the switches, which is in this little package right here. So they supply us with these Gatorons. Gatorons. What switch are they? Okay, it said on the last side of the box I looked at, magnetic J switches. I'm not too familiar with anything other than cherries, so I have no idea what a J switch even is. But we're about to find out. Where did they put my little knife? There it is. It's going to be an absolute surprise. Good. And again, the best thing about all of this is it's completely customizable. You don't like these switches, then swap them out for something else if you don't like them. Okay, moment of truth. They are weird. Before I say anything, I want to confirm something. It doesn't say anything other than the fact that they are magnetic jade switches, but they have like a tactile. I believe they feel tactile because there's a bit of a force required, but at the same time they're kind of, I want to say mushy, but they have a very linear feel. It feels like it's somewhere between linear and tactile. It's actually so weird. Okay, now, how do I put these in? That's the next thing I should probably look up, because like I said, I've never done any of this. And all of you who are experts at all of this in the comments are probably already telling me how I'm doing everything wrong. I would also really love those any instructions on the switches themselves. Again, I think they kind of expect you to know all of this already. There's these little latches where you definitely put a switch, but there's just like not enough for everything. So again, what is it for? I think they're just replacement latches for stuff like your space bar and your enter and stuff like that. So I don't think I have to worry about these. So I'm gonna put them back in the little baggie before I inevitably drop one of them on the floor and spend a week looking for them. There we go. And is it just as simple as, okay, which way does it actually, there has to be some other way of, wait, that's interesting, there is no actual wire on these. How do they communicate with the board? I would assume they have to go one way. They'd have to go this way from what I gather. But again, how would they then communicate? Where were the instructions? The instructions are only for the case. Do I just go for it? I want to attach at least one switch. They have some kind of like grease on them, I'm pretty sure, or something, because yeah, I can feel like they have a bit of they've been pre-greased. Okay, they go in one way. I just want to check one thing before we go any further, and that is if the switch actually works now. So, where on earth did I put the cable? Cable, where are you? There's the feet, there's the cable. It is a nice cable they sent over. It's just like a white and greyish pattern. Doesn't really match anything in my build, but it's still pretty nice. And also what I do very much like, and one thing I really don't like about my main keyboard, is all of these modern keyboards with USB Type-C are making me kind of jealous because my G915 from Logitech is still using Micro B. Hey! Okay, so I haven't killed it yet, but now I want to see if it actually works. It does! Okay, I'm pressing the spacebar and it actually works. So yeah, I was just panicking for no reason. It does actually just regularly connect to the board. That's the thing, I haven't seen exactly where that is. Where on earth, on the Switch, there's no wire. Unless it's... Is that why they call it magnetic? Is because they don't actually make contact via wire, but just via a magnet? Probably. Again, I'm showing my ignorance here, definitely. But anyway, time to do the laborious part of putting all of these switches in. this is probably going to be the most boring part of the stream, and again, if you have multiple switches, you can just customize whatever you want. Like if you just want your WASD to be one type of switch and then everything else to be another, if you just want your spacebar to be another, then go ahead. I want like a good satisfying delete key, you know, like when I'm done with a project and I want to delete it in my files, I want that delete switch to be something like special that I need to put some force in, and then like, that's how some fire works. That's what I want. Ugh. How many keys are there on a keyboard like this? Numpadless keyboard. I just noticed it's numpadless. Oh really, Wooting? I just went on this whole rant in my previous keyboard video about how these like 60% and 10 keyless keyboards aren't real keyboards, you know. They're pretenders. I don't know what it is. I personally don't even use the numpad too much myself. It's just something about the size that throws me off. Right. I think they're pretty awesome for portability if you travel a lot. And I travel a lot, but I still prefer to have like a full-size keyboard because it's just the size I'm used to, it's just the size I grew up with. It just would be weird, you know, it's kind of like how Microsoft tried to shift the start button over to the middle of the taskbar with Windows 11. My hands are going to be so greasy after this. Yeah, so they tried to move the taskbar over, and the taskbar, the start menu to the middle of the taskbar. I would just never be able to get used to that. Because it's just not what I grew up with, and it's just second nature. Likewise, it's second nature when you have a keyboard of a certain size, you kind of always know when something is. Granted, my keyboard also isn't the best in that area, because there is some macro keys on the left hand side, and now I'm always I used to be used to the fact that the left shift and left control are the leftmost part of the keyboard. I had to kind of relearn over the keyboard, and now whenever I go to use anything else, again it kind of throws me off that the keyboard does end with the control and shift, and there isn't a whole additional column of macros there. Even if I don't really use the macros that much, I just know that that's where the keyboard ends. And it kind of gives me some. It makes me realize where I need to look to, like where I need to feel with my hands to find what I'm looking for. Because yeah, it kind of throws me off otherwise. I'll say halfway done. We're not even halfway done. I wonder if there's like any inspiration, any story behind all of these individual little icons they have in every single slot, or is it just completely random? You know, I was about to say maybe it's like Windex, but no, some of these are not things that are in Windex at all. Like you don't have good luck, have fun in there, or one is like sushi rolls, or what are they called? They're like sushi, but not quite, and they just have like one little stripe of seaweed at the bottom. It has a name I've forgotten. Hey, I just noticed one of these right here is a heart pierogi design. That's a nice shout out to our. It's not a national dish, but it's, you know, it's obviously one of the most popular dishes that people can think about when they think of Poland. Again, what's the story behind all of these? Why a pierogi one? It's difficult to say when I'm talking in English. You know, because I'm always just so used to it of only saying when I'm having a conversation with someone in Polish, and all of a sudden saying the word with like a more Englishy accent throws me off. And like this, and like this, and oh, this one is actually going to be sideways. Some variety to this menial labor we're doing right here. We have the cat, we have the turtle, we have our favourite doughy dumplings, And then we have, I have no, that's a piece of cake or something, I have no idea. But boom. Boom, there we go. Then we have a flag on a planet, I'm assuming the moon. What I always kind of think about as a stereotypical spa icon, I guess it could be the icon for Avrona in Rainbow Six Siege. Then we have like a cat. It looks like it says Dolly? It looks like there's like some text over there, but I have no idea what that says. Again, what is the story behind all of these? I kind of want to know now. Or was just the design of this board and just the first thing that came to his mind he added in here. Like, who's this cat? What's his story? What's the text written above him? We may never know. Okay, probably the designer knows, but I can't be bothered to ask him. I do like the color of these switches though. I know you don't really see it, but I do kind of like this jade color. I wonder how good the switches themselves will be in kind of regular use. Because again, I have no experience with Gatoron at all, and no experience with these at all. I struggled to even explain how they felt like. I think that should tell you everything you need to know about these. If, again, there is some major experts out there who have all of these memorized, please let me know what I should know about these magnetic jades. If they're any good, or if Wooting just basically sent me something that wasn't selling, so that you send it for me, send it to me for free to get rid of it. That's also possible. I'm not implying they did that, but you never know. Okay, we have a camera. We have some slices of fruit and some pyramid in the middle. These are probably just some really deep in-jokes and references I don't get. We have some tulips, we have a very fat sheep here, and then we have a bridge that's closing or opening. And then we just have the number 42. I do stick a windmill here. I guess that's because they are a Dutch company, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they are Dutch. We have a QR code here. Ooh, I wonder what that would be. I'll check it out after the stream. Like an origami bird. A nice ghost, I believe, to haunt your computer. A fox. Okay, there's a bike and a windmill next to each other. I'm 99% sure they are Dutch now. But again, why some of the other ones? Why the pierogi one? Why some of the... I was going to say why some of the Japanese themed ones, but then I think we all know the answer, because here in the West we're just absolutely obsessed with everything Asian right now. That's why they also have this little dumpling being held by chopsticks in this slot right here. And there it goes in. This one just says 77.5. Man, it must feel so great to understand what all of these references mean. This one is just a wave. Okay, but again, coming back to what I just said, it's probably that one Japanese painting. I have no idea what this one's supposed to be. I think it's a seashell. And then we have... I have no idea what these last two will be. This kind of looks like a very stylized whale. This is that one popular Nordic symbol. And then the final one is a like a poly wire frame of a duck. It's not a ducky keyboard though, don't get confused. We have reviewed and unboxed plenty of ducky keyboards on this channel before, so definitely check that out as well. It is actually a general problem. I'm starting to have too many keyboards. I have no idea what to do with them. I got the ones from the Ducky recently, from Akko. I have some more from Akko coming in. Now I have this one. I have the one from Acer recently did. Actually no, I think the one from Acer I have to send back. I'm actually not sure yet. Anyway, that's all done. So now we can put it all together. Boom. There's probably a better way, but again, that's just how I do it. I was thinking to just quickly wash my hand of all of this grease that was on the switches. Okay. And now all of these can go back in where they were. So one thing I'm wondering about is that there were these feet included with the accessories, but this already has feet. So can you replace them, or do they just kind of snap onto these if you want some height? Because these aren't height adjustable feet, and that's one of the things that I'd say one of the things I really want in a keyboard is height adjustable feet, but I never adjust the height. I just want them to be tall from the get-go. And this is a rather short keyboard in that direction, doesn't have a good rise from the feet at the back, so I'm wondering if you couldn't just snap those on and yeah, your keyboard kind of gets the height it deserves. But so far this process has been a lot easier than I imagined, apart from some pains that, you know, it's probably just from me doing it for the first time, but yeah, this actually, it was a lot more intimidating than I thought. Actually, yeah, it was a lot more intimidating than it was, I should say. But it has been fine. Okay, that's the last one over there. Boom. Look at this, we're making some decent progress. Now I need a drink. Okay. Let's keep going. We have a very important choice to make here now. Because we have both the black and white double shot PBT keycaps. I have no idea which ones. Oh, what did I just press? I pressed my Steam Deck, but I'm pretty sure I didn't mess anything up, which is good. I have no idea why I triggered on my Steam Deck there, but it's fine. Okay, so let's put this to a side for one moment and unbox these two. Guys, I want you to be the judge. I want you to decide which keycaps go on here. Is it going to be the black to completely throw the whole keyboard off because it's currently fully white, or is it going to be the white ones to keep with the theme but be a bit less boring? I don't even know if black keycaps are going to match a white keyboard, but oh, we're about to find out. Again, that's the beauty of all of this. You can experiment, you can find out, you can see what kind of colours match together. The issue is, I'm awful at that kind of stuff. I do not have like a graphic design sense, or like a what colours go together sense. Okay, no, I can't come up with them in the first place. Once they're presented in front of me, I could probably make my mind up, but I couldn't, you know, come up with like a strange color combination, for example, for a keyboard that would then actually look good. Does that make any sense? Okay, so these are the white ones right here. I'm gonna have so much to clean up after this. And then this right here. These are our black keycaps. Is there anything else in the boxes? No, just box. Okay. I'm just kind of moving some stuff here so I can see the chat better. Okay, I just said I just switched from black to white. I'm noticing the dirt more. To be fair, I have my G915 and I'm constantly annoyed by how much dust and dirt I can see on it, even on a black one. So I don't think it makes too much of a difference. Granted, the base frame, that kind of brushed aluminum, is more silvery than black on G915, but even on the keys themselves, you can very much see the dirt, so I don't think it will make too much of a difference, but I don't know, what do we go for here? Do we go for the black? Oh, okay, there's like two, what on earth? Huh. There's like two sets of stuff, including stuff we don't need, like the keycaps. Oh, I see, because they have both, like, European and American. So you have like your standard ISO and also the kind of American layout with the short enter. I see what's going on here. Okay, I was so confused. So we need to go with the good option, aka the ISO European one, and same for this. Okay, actually no, I should not have thrown it away because all of the other letters are on here. Okay, so what should I go for? I feel like we should just go for white here at this point. I don't think black on the white. Look, it's not fully white either because it's more translucent white. Again, the benefit of this whole thing being modular is that you can just try both and see what works best. So let's just go with white first. And then if I can be bothered to do so, I'll go with the blacks later. It's also already laid out for you, so you don't have to memorize exactly what everything is. I should probably open this the other way. Actually, let me do that so you don't... Actually, no, they are... Okay, cool. So the box has a little nubbin. There's a little beveled thing for every key to sit down on, so that's good. So they won't get too disorganized in these boxes. So now we go for the second most tedious part of this whole process. Going one key at a time. Again, you can get really creative here. You can have your WASD or your arrows be different colors, like on that Acer one we covered recently. I think this is a really cool activity to do in more streams though. I know I'm complaining, it takes a while, but it's also, it gives me a time to just talk and rant. And for some reason, people just really like to hear me talk and rant about random stuff. So, just doing a very boring thing, but just enough creative spark to it, enough choices to be made, and it's just involved enough as basically a vehicle for me to talk about stuff. I think that could be a pretty cool series on this very channel. So what can we talk about while I'm counting to 9, or counting to 0 technically? Well, we could talk about Computex because that is next week. Can you guys believe that? So we'll be flying out on a Friday because it takes a while to actually get to Taipei, but also all of this stuff actually usually begins before the show itself. Now the issue is that by the time you need to book flights, you don't know when some of those conferences beforehand will be. So I was just kind of going off of what I had seen from last year's show, when I arrived a couple of days early again, because that's when all of the Nvidias and your AMDs were. Now we don't have a date for the Intel one, I don't think, just yet. The AMD one will be during the show itself, but Nvidia will be early. So it's always important to arrive there a couple of days early. Plus it also gives you time to recover from the trip there and get used to the time zone. But it also gives you time to explore Taipei a bit. So that's going to be pretty cool. The flight itself, that's the part I'm not looking forward to. It's going to be around 22 hours in total, and it's going to be from London to Paris, from Paris to Hanoi. Then we have something like a 5-hour layover in Hanoi, which is just like, it's long enough where it's starting to get annoying, but not long enough that you can actually go out and really spend a lot of time doing stuff. I think we'll still actually go outside and visit Vietnam. We've never been in Vietnam before, so that's going to be interesting. But yeah, it's like not enough time to be fully comfortable. That's interesting. Where does this go? Okay, I think this is not ISO, so I can ignore that. I think just I'll just stick to the letters from this tray, and then everything else will go from another tray. So yeah, and then from Hanoi, after 5 hours, we'll be landing in Taipei. Kai says, have you looked at the Mcho's GX87 Ultra? It's got a good review, so I bought one. It's 10 kilos, it's very impressed. I'm very impressed by it. Every review I've seen has been positive. I have not looked into it, but I definitely will. My thing is, I don't really buy keyboards. I just been using my own G915 for ages and been just receiving free keyboards from companies until I finally find something that meets my apparently really high standards for something that beats my ancient G915 at this point. So you know, that's the plan. Okay, yeah, we are. I have no idea what goes here either. That'll all be revealed soon after I get to that second tray. But yeah, I'll definitely reach out to them if they can send one over for an unboxing or review. That would be awesome if you say it's so cool. If you're on a connecting flight, they may not allow you to leave the airport. We've already actually got in touch with the embassy to clear stuff up, and they said that yeah, it's fine. It depends on the it depends on the country, depends on how much free time you have, stuff like that. Especially on like when you have 5 hours of layover. Last year when I was going, on my way back I was stopping in Bangkok because that's where my connection was. So and I would just completely leave instead of just going down the transfer route. I just went down the exit the airport route at the after arrivals, and I just showed my passport. They stamped it, and welcome to Bangkok. I took one step outside, realized it's 40 degrees, and I went back inside because, yeah, again, I didn't have too much time to explore, and I did not feel like going out in that kind of heat. So I just took one step outside the airport, so I can say that I've been to Thailand other than just the airport terminal, basically, and I went right back inside. Okay, I think we can start to explore what's in this other tray right here with some of this ISO stuff. So these will be obviously, I hope they go in the right. Oh, okay. This is starting to get a bit complicated because where's the key pillar? Where's the key pillar? Yeah, it's starting to get a bit complicated because the layout of the keys in the sets do not match what is actually here in front of me on this H80. So how on earth do I use this key pillar? I can't even tell which side is for the keys and which side is for the switches. Oh, I have like a much better one somewhere here. Give me a second. Do I have my better key pillar here, which I had forever? No, I do not. Okay, so I need to make do with this one. Or, because I'm impatient, I can just do that. I really wish, instead of just putting all of those random images underneath the switches, they would actually say what every one of them is. Give me a second. Maybe in the module there's like a map. I would assume so. This is the box in the module. Is there a map to what everything is? There is not. Okay, let me just quickly get that email about what's actually in the H80, because that will probably tell me what I need to do. In order to configure a keyboard, yeah, the hardware. Key start force. No, these are the switches. I don't care about the switches. Just tell me what each of the buttons actually does. The module, ergonomics, durability, sustainability, about routing, price. Oh, we can talk about the price later. But for now, I just want to know what each button actually is. What each key actually is. Do they have a map? I just need a map. Oh, there's like a remapping thing. I don't need a remapping. I just need to know what they do by default. Why are you making it so awkward, Wooting? Well, product page. Is it just on the product page? Does anyone know where I can find a map? It's telling me about how I can like remap and do everything, but I just want to know what each thing does by default. Technical specs, compatibility, what's inside the box. Oh, okay, I'm going to quickly go back to chat, see if chat has helped me out here. I can just guess. Or okay, let's assemble what is for certain the right things. So our big, bold, beautiful European enter. There we go. This will probably be delete. No, one of these will be delete. I am actually so confused now. So this whole section right here, we don't use. This is all for a keyboard with a numpad. Well, no. Okay, one thing we do have to use here, and that's the arrow keys. There we go. Those go in. Okay. What else can I add in here? Shifts. So right shift, and then our tiny left shift. I can add in control, which is actually I think it's using like a wider control. So I think I'll use this one. Okay, yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing I wish they did a bit differently. That is just making it a lot more obvious what is what. Because I assumed I just laid it out that this is ISO and this is ANSI, but no, it's all kind of all over the place. That's everything of note. They don't have a Windows button, they have a Wooting crown instead. Okay, what is this tiny, comically small space for? That's what I'm interested. Is this like a what's the Japanese one called? GIS, I believe. Is this part of GIS? Maybe there's two of them. Ooh, okay. Top right, pause. So right here, that's pause. Okay, okay. Where's pause? There it is. Try to get away from me. Left of top right, that's print screen. Okay. So is this one that's kind of all alone here? That's going to be scroll lock. I kind of wish that this was print screen because it's kind of separated from everything else. You can remap, so I'll probably remap it to print screen later. But again, I just want to get the default layout first and then worry about remapping later. Okay, so spacebar. Is this the right one? Are these even the same size? No, this one's... Yeah, so this one is the smaller one. I guess since you can just remap everything, if you're an absolute monster, you could take one of these small spaces, put it like here where the shift is, and have your space be here, because you won't erase properly. Okay. I actually need to take a look at my own keyboard for this last part. It goes, yeah, it goes Alt, then Windows again, and then Control. Boom. Still don't know what these at the top are. Between F12 and print screen is mode. Mode. No, that's menu. I promise I'm not dyslexic. Where's mode? There's mode. Boom. Okay. Cool. So we're still missing whatever this is. Oh, this is, no. Hash is over here. Where's my G915? We're missing add. No, add is here. Oh, we're missing the tilde button. This one. Yeah, I was right. That is hash there. Which is kind of okay. I think my one has a slightly different layout, but whatever. We'll just go with whatever's here. And then what am I missing here? Question mark, exclamation mark. There we go. If I do this, maybe it'll magically appear. I don't know. Okay. Where on earth is the exclamation mark. Have I just like already used it somewhere that I'm not supposed to? It's here in shift 1. But there's supposed to be another exclamation mark here. Oh, again, am I just like misremembering stuff? Okay, no, I have it arrow, question mark, and then that's where my G915 ends. And then I just have like a really long shift. I could go over a long shift, but that would like literally take over 2 switches, and that would be kind of dumb. Could you do that? Can you remap? Yeah, you could probably remap 2 things to the same thing, so when you press down on it. Question mark's in the wrong place? Okay, so it's not just me. I don't think it's just me confused by what's going on here. What goes here? Why don't they just provide a map? I know they provide a way of remapping all of it, but just tell us what's supposed to go where from the get-go. Okay, I'm gonna open up like a tutorial they've done and just see what goes everywhere. What the guide that they have here. That's ISO ES, ISO Nordics, JIS, ANSI, ISO DE. I just want to know. Okay. ISO FR. I just want. Oh, come on. I'm really not going to show what the UK layout is. I'm not married to it. But... Okay, what goes into the ANSI one? So the ANSI one is exactly the same here, apart from the fact that they have a longer shift and a longer shift here, which means that this is not used. It ends on the question mark. It goes arrow, arrow, you know, comma, full stop, question mark, and then that's it. I haven't missed a letter, haven't I? No. What is this key for? Pretty sure you're missing a key next to your left shift. What do they put next to the left shift? In pretty much all of the standards they are showing here. Oh no, in the ISO, in ANSI, there is nothing there. In ISO, there is a different button here. That is, I've never seen that button over there in any ISO keyboard. So what they have in the video is, where is it? I haven't used this one as well yet. Wait, what? It's not even in the set. So they have this like a weird double like greater than, less than on the same key, but it's not even in the set. Unless I'm just very blind, which, okay, I am very blind, that's why I need these ultra strong glasses, but I cannot see that exact key they use in that video in this set. So, is it left shift meant to be bigger? I mean, yeah, but it will cover two switches then. That kind of felt pointless. Where's the switch color or the key color or the 2 in 1? Okay, I'm pretty sure it goes this way. Yep. Boom. So right here where the Z is, they have a different key that I literally do not have in the set. I also haven't used this one yet, which is that goes right here on my G915. I will probably, man, I wish they just include the map, and I think we'll just go in blind, and then I'll just remap because I can't be bothered to try to follow whatever thread of logic they went to when it comes to picking what goes where. So this will be this. I just noticed we have some different ISO specific number keys here, so I'll replace those. We have a 4 that goes either dollar or euro. We have the 3, which is the pound sign. Isn't it that the Americans called a hash symbol a pound sign? Like, why? That's a pound sign, not this. I wonder if the confusion is because they both occupy traditionally shift 3 on the keyboard. I wonder that's where the misunderstanding came from. Where do I have my ad on my G915? Okay, yeah, I have speech marks on 2 and an ad over here, so I don't need a second ad there. That can just go as speech marks. We're still left with 4 here, which we can do whatever we want with. Obviously, we need a delete, which will usually go here. And then over here, we'll go like usually go in insert, which I don't think I've ever used. And then on the right hand side, well, there has to be page down and page up. What are these these super short alts for as well? One of these could be function, I guess. We don't have a function key. One of these could be a function key. There's like phantom key over here could be a function key. What else do we need? I guess, oh, okay, I just noticed another thing. Are these, because if you look at a right angle, you can see that this delete is way taller than the others. So are there different heights of keys in this set as well? So is this delete shorter than that delete? I believe it is. There we go. Okay, that's something else I need to keep an eye out on. That they're not all the same size. I mean, again, it's great that it gives you so much customization. I just wish it was documented better. Okay, what should we go for this last one? Phantom key is Z, yeah, but then that's the thing. It leaves. That's what it looks like in the ANSI layout they showcase, but that leaves us with this with nothing in. So we can go with the. Where's the short shift? There's a short shift. And then that leaves us with this, which we can occupy with whatever we want. And the thing I want to go for is this right here. Actually, no, do I already have it? I don't. Okay, so yeah, this has to be that. That is a super awkward position. It is usually much higher on keyboards, at least on keyboards I've ever used. I don't think I've ever had it this low. Sometimes it's actually in this position as well. But it will just go for here for now, unless anyone has like a better idea of what to put in this position. Okay, and to wrap things up, we need another alt, which is actually no. These need to swap places. This alt goes here, and then the alternate alt goes right here. We're still left with this, and I just noticed there's a pretty big space over here between the shift and this, which makes you kind of wonder what they expect you to put here. Like something a bit bigger, perhaps, but like what? This one? Oh, it could be this one. That makes this even more awkward. Just this ginormous key for characters I'll literally never use. Okay, no, I think that's a bit too big now. Where did that go? I think that went over there. You see what I'm talking about? Do you see that kind of huge gap between shift and this right here? Okay, we'll just play along for now. And then the final one. Oh, we still have this one we haven't used. But, okay, we'll live without. And for the last one, I think we need to go with numlock, I guess. Okay, and that's the completely wrong size of numlock, but I don't have other ones. Ah. Okay, we'll at least try to have this thing look nice. So I need one of the shorter ones. What do we have left from the shorter ones? You can go for like a very small alt if you wanted to. Are these right here? Some of the shorter ones? Nope, that's one of the big inserts. I don't think we have a small insert. There's also just this, surprise me key where you can, I don't know, scribble whatever you want on it. What should we go for here? Our options are kind of limited. And again, it's still really throwing me off that there's this massive gap here, but I don't see what else we could possibly put in there at this point. I guess this could be a function, because we don't have a function key. It's a very awkward, function. Actually, no. Do we need a function key because we have like a dedicated function row? I think function is for macros though. Oop. Wouldn't be one of my videos without dropping something. So I think we need a function for macros anyway. We don't need more arrows. We don't need a control there. We don't need a surprise me one. We can just, if we want to be chaotic, put like one number in there, but just one number. 5. That's all you get on your keyboard, just 5. That's the only number you can type in via numpad. We have a delete. We don't need an end, don't need a home. We have a page up, we have a page down. And again, these are all of the taller ones. From the shorter ones, yeah, our options are pretty limited. I think it's literally just the function, the alt, or this one right here. We could go for like the dot. Give you like a better look of what we have left here. We could go like a full stop, like a multiply sign, like I don't know what the A ones are. I guess they're just more macros. But I think it's just gonna have to be the function key. And we are done. That's our keyboard assembled. So let's just put everything back where it was. So I need to put these back where they were, like that. Where did this go now? I cannot for the life of me remember where this went. I'll just put it there for now, and I'll probably go back and put it in the right place later. Okay. And we can now close up. Being very careful with these, so all of these keys don't spill all over the place, because that's the last thing we want around here. And our beautiful keyboard is up and running. So last thing I want to check is how exactly these feet work. So these are the ones that have been included. So we have some smaller ones, we have some bigger ones, but the biggest secret is how exactly do we put them on? God, that was easy. So you have two sizes. We have 6 degrees and 10 degrees. We're not wimps around here, we're going straight for 10-degree ones. You can technically put the 6-degree ones on the front if you wanted to be extra tall, but I don't think we'll go that extreme just yet. These look ridiculous. They look so comically large compared to everything else about this keyboard. But that is so nice. I like a nice little keyboard. That does actually feel pretty nice. Again, it's throwing me off because it's not a full size. And also the letters begin, the letters on the last row end so early compared to everything else. Like it usually is around here, I believe. Like another key over. Because I have another key here usually. So everything ends, the letters end one to the right. So that's kind of throwing me off. I'm just trying to write Avrona, as you saw, but I'm just constantly pressing the B key instead. So I'm Avrona now. That's my name, Avrona. Again, none of this is a deal breaker because you can remap everything. They have the utility, and one thing I kind of like is that the utility is not based in an app. You don't need yet another piece of software, it's just a site. So that's nice, that's cool. I'm wondering now, can you actually put these other... Okay, no, these are a lot harder to get off, which kind of lets me know that they weren't intending for you to take that off. Okay, and just like that, we are done. Our Wooting keyboard is here. I kind of really want to do some more now. I want to do some customization. I can hopefully convince my rep to send some other stuff over, some other key sets, some other switches. We can get really involved. And hopefully if you guys have any suggestions for specific switch types or specific models I need to check out, please let me know. Let's get the cable so we can watch all of those beautiful RGB effects. I'm pretty sure you can do this wirelessly. Can you set this up wirelessly? I'm actually not sure. That was interesting. When I plugged it in, it made File Explorer flash up. Why? We may never know. Okay, let's get some effects going here. So I know he was recently that had this exact same, I think Ducky. I think when he did the Ducky one, they also had it in browser, and it's just so nice. You don't have to download anything. We talked about it on the last episode with Ian Cuttress about how you have so many controllers and so many pieces of software now on your PC doing just the most basic things. Here's hoping that one day it'll all just get merged into Windows. That's kind of the end game that I'm really looking forward to. They have taken some steps toward that with what's called like Windows Dynamic Lighting, I mean. But now, hopefully, all of this kind of stuff with like reconfiguration of the switches and all. Oh, look at that! I'm updating the firmware on the keyboard, and there's a little percentage bar here. That is a nice touch. Like it's completely. It's literally just a novelty. It's literally just a gimmick, but it's a cool gimmick. Okay, customize. So now we can actually see what they had in mind for this thing. So if I quickly switch over to the browser, you can see what they had in mind. So the top one was an insert. Print screen pause, that was correct. Mode, that's correct. But do we have a shorter insert to put there? I'm actually not sure. Do we have that kind of short insert? So we have just the one insert right here. And it is one of the really tall keys, I'm pretty sure. Let me quickly unplug. Yeah, it's just one of the really tall ones that's intended for a regular size keyboard. Okay, so yeah, they just did not include an insert that was the right size for that. Oh well. I never have ever used an insert key, so that does not bother me in the slightest. So let's just put it back in and okay. Let's just go back to the app. We can change the actuation point, like in a recent one from Ducky. Was it Echo or Ducky? Ducky. I've been doing so many keywords recently, they're all blurring together. Forgive me, please. That's awesome. I really liked that about a Ducky. Issue is that I'm just so paralyzed by the choice it gives me. So if I were to quickly select that, drag it all the way down. Oh, wait a second, are they? Oh, these are analog. Like they're like fully pressure sensitive. Look at that. And now this is a lot more rough. And you can get pretty detailed with this. I love this kind of stuff. No, sticky keys, go away. Probably the worst key to try and test this stuff on, that's sticky keys. That's the left shift because that would trigger sticky keys. So, again, I really like this feature. I like it in a Ducky. My issue is that I cannot for the life of me figure out what is actually the optimal thing for me. if anyone has a good setting, a good actuation point setting for general, you know, like editing, general work, and then maybe some different settings for like shooter games, like Rainbow Six Siege, which I play a lot, or like for other games, then please let me know what are the kind of optimal settings, because I can tell you that, you know, this feels nice, and like this feels nice, and then like somewhere in between, you know, that feels really nice, but I can tell you what is optimal, if that makes sense. So again, if you have any suggestions on how to make the most of this, please, oh please, let me know. What's interesting is it was kind of, there's something triggering it, but not quite. You see that? Maybe one of the switches isn't making proper contact because they're constantly detecting something, like a signal. It's not even pushing down because it's all the way here, but it's detecting some kind of signal. And then you can mess around with all the RGB and whatnot, like you could in any keyboard. I really always like these kind of effects, like there is like the one on default, where the keys change color when you press them, and it's not quite a ripple, because it only affects one key, but it just leaves this nice little thing for it to fade out on when you press it down. I like that. And also, it shows you right here when caps lock is on or off. That's one way of getting around the fact that there are completely no indicator icons right here. No, I didn't need to print screen. I meant to show you that there's no icons for your caps lock, your num lock, your scroll lock. So just being able to look at the key, glance over at the RGB and see what color it is, that is one way of doing it. I'm wondering what exactly the bar here is doing right now, because it's just showing 2 out of how many segments there are here. What does it mean? What does that mean indeed? Anyway, I could, like I said, spend a long time in this menu, but we can just go back to our keyboard here, because I like it. I really like how this ended up looking. And again, something you build yourself is always gonna feel better to you than something you've just bought pre-made off the shelf. And this keyboard looks great. I just really hope I have the charisma to convince my rep to send some more stuff over, because I can get seriously addicted to just messing around with stuff and doing live streams like this. And I hope you guys like this live stream, by the way. Just kind of looking at how many viewers we have, I guess so. That is pretty awesome to see. But yeah, let me know what you think of my masterpiece. It's probably not the most ambitious, but again, this is just what they sent me over for me to check out. For a starter, I'll be actually meeting with them at Computex, so we can probably discuss some other plans for some other streams while we're there. But for my first effort, I'd say I did a pretty good job, and in I hope a decent amount of time. I wonder, is it like speed runs or like speed keyboard building? That's something we should do on this channel. Get 2 people who are really good at this and make them face off in like a keyboard speed building. Oh, okay, I'll need to talk to Wooting about that. But in the meantime, yeah, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. Let me know what other things I should do in the world of custom keyboards. Again, I'm a complete novice when it comes to this. This is my first exposure to it at all, so again, thanks so much Wooting for making it possible. But any particular keyboard modules, any particular switches, anything else specific when it comes to the layout of the keyboard I should try out, please let me know. Any other kind of cool mods or other stuff that can be done with keyboards. Again, let me know all of that. If there's anything else you really want to say, super chats exist. Super chats are fantastic because, you know, not only is your message in a fancy bubble of colour, but, you know, it helps support the channel as well. All that money goes straight back into the channel. That allows us to do things like go to Computex, because, believe it or not, but going halfway across the world is kind of expensive. You know, it's shocking that, I know, but it's kind of expensive to go all the way to Taiwan, so super chats and stuff like that will definitely also go a long way, but also go a long way in helping us, you know, do more projects like this, do more live streams like this. I really liked it, so we kind of quickly unplug this and show you exactly what it looks like. One more thing I'm kind of curious about, what on earth is with the... Oh, I see. This is just a Type-C to Type-A adapter. I was wondering what little, like, plasticky bit at the top was, but that's literally just a small adapter. Makes sense. I like USB Type-C, but I definitely do not... I'm not going to sacrifice the only front USB Type-C port I have in this case, and the only rear Type-C port I have on my motherboard for a keyboard, okay? That is specifically reserved for mostly drives, SSDs and whatnot, but okay, I like it. I think it turned out alright. One thing I'm still kind of confused by is the space between the shift and this final row right here. I don't know why the space is so big. It's clear that they have some kind of bigger switch for you in mind, but again, I don't know what it is from the set they gave. I assume that when they send you the, you know, those sets, because they are Wooting branded sets of keys, that they have every single key cap you could ever need for their keyboards. So I don't know what I could be missing here, but oh well. Oh well. I still really like how this turned out. And I'll be probably doing a bit more after the stream ends. But anyway, that's probably going to be about it for the stream. Thank you all so much for joining in. It was very much a different weekend with Avrona, but like I said, I don't want this just to be about news. I want to keep this show varied, like for example how we did the whole show with Ian Cuttress last time. There probably won't be a show next week because I'll be away in Taipei for Computex. And I'd love to do a show from Taipei. That would be awesome. One day I will, but the only reason I can't do it is because the laptop I'm taking, it just won't be able to handle streaming. And I also have like no idea what the Wi-Fi situation will be like in the hotel. So one day when I hopefully finally get a better laptop to travel around with, that can actually handle live streaming, that'd be awesome. Right now I can barely handle editing. Okay, I can edit on it, but just barely. And I'm just hoping that LG finally release a new Belgigram style with something faster than that 13th gen chip they have right now. But anyway, I have so much cleaning to do now. But that is about it for this live stream. So, if you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe, like, whatever, and I'll see you all in whatever I make next. So goodbye everyone, goodbye.
Now, all I hear is to let go.